themselves. The boys clink their bottlenecks together and toast. Ah, finally, it's the weekend. Chapter 1. I don't respect people who give in to stress, or men who take maternity leave. There you have it. And I don't give a shit what the HR people say about it. If you don't have the interest or the energy to do your job in my investigation group, then you're out. There are lots of people who want in and know what it takes to do a job like ours. The late September sun showed that the windows in the homicide department at Copenhagen's police headquarters were in serious need of a good washing. The dirt had put a dusty film over the glass, highlighting dead insects and bird splatterings. Louise Rick closed her eyes for a moment, while Detective Superintendent Williamson thundered on. Sooner or later, he'd get to his favorite line. I think I've said it before. Here it came. When you work with me, it's yes, no, or up yours. I want clear responses. This place isn't a rest home for pregnant nuns. There are gang wars in the city and shootings on the streets. And as you all know, late last night, the father of a family was shot in his home outside Amager. There's no end to our workload. The damned shootings suck up our resources. The police chief's task force group recruits people from all departments, and for the rest of us, it'll continue to mean hours of overtime. So, if you have problems on the home front or a hard time balancing family life with work life, then go look for a desk job. It's sure as hell a decision one would expect grown adults to be capable of. Williamson left the last part hanging, while he sighed deeply and wiped the side of his mouth. In a way, Louise couldn't have agreed more. No one could make those sorts of decisions for you but yourself. She looked at her coworkers. Toft seemed a bit tired, and it struck her that maybe he regretted receiving the offer to come back to homicide. As the result of reorganization, he'd been sent out to Belyahov Station a year and a half ago, and given a position that was later eliminated again. Michael Stieg had pointedly tipped back his chair. His eyes were half shut, while he gazed out of the dirty window panes. He was obviously irritated over being made to attend the detective superintendent's tongue-lashing, when it wasn't even aimed at any of the officers Williamson had called together into his office that late Friday afternoon. The fit of rage was aimed at Louise's partner, Lars Jorgensen, who earlier in the day had handed in a sick notice, initially for a month's time. According to the doctor, stress was the reason for the long period of absence. Those in the know understood that the real reason was Williamson's cruel behavior toward Lars Jorgensen, who needed fewer hours after his wife had moved out to her sister's in Vangede, leaving him with the 8-year-old twins and a broken heart. In the good month and a half since his wife had left her husband and children to find herself, Lars Jorgensen had made a virtue out of leaving on time, so he was there when his kids came home from daycare. He begged off from extra work on the weekends, and every single time Williamson went after him. The lead investigator had always been rude and arrogant. It was like he got a certain pleasure out of wiping the floor with people. Louise studied Williamson. He was in his late 50s. His hair was still black, and he still had sharp facial features. He was holding up well, but the tension had plowed 2 deep lines across his forehead, which made him look fierce. Her thoughts slipped back to Jorgensen. A couple of days earlier, as she arrived back to the office after lunch, she'd found her partner sitting with his face hidden in his hands. At first, he tried to let on like it was nothing, as if she hadn't just caught him at a vulnerable moment. But after a couple of minutes of awkward silence, he stood up and closed the door. I don't give a damn that he keeps writing me, he said when he was back in his chair. His eyes were sad, and he looked pale and tired. But the way things are, how the hell do I know if things will ever be different? Maybe she'll never come back. I can't give a date for when everything will be wonderful again. Louise hadn't answered him. There wasn't much to say. He gave her a blank look, and she could see that he was at least as frustrated over the situation as the superintendent was.